this is where we get serious. I love poking the elephants in the room. And this is kind of thing that I was always accused, also today, by the way, for doing this event, that I'm doing some sort of a pinkwashing. Wait, do you know what pinkwashing is? I will give it within my own interpretation. Okay. So pinkwashing is basically a term that was invented to discredit, disqualify, and strip the LGBTQ plus community's advancement within the Israeli society. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to say that the only way that Israel is advancing in LGBTQ plus rights is to oppress other people. Well, it's quite the opposite. Because since the 70s, when the LGBTQ plus organizations in Israel were created, they had to fight against fundamentalism, against extremism. But they did it not only with the white community, with the Jewish community, they did it in a work with the majority of the Israeli society, with the Christian community, with the Muslim community, with the Druze community, the Bedouin community, and of course, the Jewish community. So the Israeli community didn't have to go and face only the Jewish community. They have to face all of them that are really embedded within the Israeli society that has to stay and has a stand on everything that goes on inside of Israel. So to come now and say that when we speak about that advancement of the LGBTQ plus community in Israel, it's just because we're trying to hide something else, I mean, this is ridiculous. This is to completely say your voice doesn't matter. That the work that the LGBTQ plus community in Israel did doesn't matter. They boycott the LGBTQ plus community in Israel since October 7th. I mean, it started way before that on a smaller scale, where they prevented Jewish people from going within the Star of David with a gay flag on it in Chicago and in other places in the US. Now it's much more higher scale since October 7th, where like suddenly the international LGBT community, instead of standing, fighting against fundamentalism and terrorism, they align themselves with Hamas. We can't sugarcoat that. But they also use that term of pinkwashing to disqualify us by speaking about the lack of advancement of LGBTQ plus rights from within the Arabic culture or the Palestinian community. And I'm sorry, but you can't eat the cake and leave it. You have to choose. Because in my opinion, the international community needs to take actions and needs to learn from the Israeli queer community on how they did it and were successfully doing it within the Israeli community. Because we can be the bridge to the Middle Eastern LGBTQ plus community. We are their role models. This is how it should be, not by boycotting us and preventing us from going to events that has to do with the queer community. Because what does the queer community stand for? For equality, for everyone being proud of their identity and who they are. And suddenly, the Israelis and the Jewish community doesn't matter for them anymore. That's just ridiculous to me. That I can't understand how it's just keep on going. So I also wore pink today because I'm an active pinkwasher. This is what we do. Because to be honest with you, at the end of the day, all of the queer international communities that yells and shouts free Palestine from the river to the sea without even understanding what does that even mean, they yelled intifada. Do you really know what intifada means at the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? They don't. But this is kind of where we get to go and kind of explain and teach about history, and that if you want to talk about an issue that is happening 10,000 kilometers away from you, you need to understand the, how do you say, oh my God, I forgot my English, terminology. You need to understand the terminology of the place that you're speaking about so eagerly and so aware of like learning it on TikTok. This is kind of what I've been told. I saw a few videos on TikTok. They're an expert now for Middle Eastern geopolitics. I wish I was that confident with having a strong stand when I was that age, or like on what's going on in different parts of the world. Because while they yelled here in the last few months, the Israeli community was there for the queer Palestinian community. I don't know if you know that, but before I came here, I wanted to get more information about it. And I contacted a friend of mine that used to be in the lawyer department in the IDF. And his role in the IDF was to give permits to people from the LGBTQ plus community that are fleeing the West Bank, getting shelter in Israel. There's about 140 people that receives a shelter each year in Israel since 1994. When Israel took over, although it's illegal for Israel to take over the civil life in the West Bank because of the Oslo Accords, it's on the Palestinian Authority to take care of that. But the Palestinian Authority does nothing. Not only they do nothing, in 2019 they issued an arrest warrant against every LGBTQ plus activist in the West Bank. So not only that they're not helping, they're even making it worse. And the gay community in Israel was there to assist them and help them. And many of them request to fly to a different country because they don't feel safe in Israel, because they're still reachable to their family that are terrorizing them and facing them from the West Bank. So Israel assists them and go to a third country, to Europe, or even here in Canada, or the US. This is what the Israeli community has been doing in the last years, while the people here are really comfortably sitting over each other cushion in the Ivy League universities and shouting all day. That's why I'm really furious and sad that they don't really face reality for what it is. Don't boycott the Israeli community. Use it, help it, fund it, because we are the bridge for the Arabic world and the Arabic community next to us. We made it happen in the most religious country in the world. We're able to reach out for other people from other religions. We know how it goes. We know how it works. We can reach out in this kind of shared values that we might share together. This is our kind of way of doing that, building bridges